You love your dog. You'd never intentionally hurt them, but there's a good chance you're doing something right now. In your home, in your routine, without even realizing it, that is quietly damaging their health. Not dramatic things, not obvious things. The 6 things on this list are things most dog owners consider completely normal. That's exactly what makes them so dangerous. 1. The bowl you feed them from. You clean your dog's water bowl when it looks dirty, maybe once a week, maybe less, and you assume that's fine. It's not. Dog water bowls, especially plastic ones, develop a thin, invisible layer of biofilm within 24 to 48 hours of use. Biofilm is a colony of bacteria, yeast, and mold that sticks to the surface and resists a simple rinse. Studies on pet bowl hygiene have found bowls ranked among the most germ-contaminated objects in an average household, often more contaminated than toilet seats. For a dog who drinks from that bowl multiple times a day, every single day, this adds up. Chronic exposure can lead to recurring gastrointestinal issues, skin infections, and immune stress that most owners never trace back to the bowl. And plastic makes this worse. Micro scratches and plastic surfaces become permanent homes for bacteria that no amount of rinsing will remove. Stainless steel or ceramic bowls washed daily with soap and hot water are the only real solution. The bowl you thought was fine is quietly working against your dog every single meal. 2. The walks you take at noon. You take your dog for a walk in the middle of the day, and everything looks fine. They seem happy. They're moving. But here's what you can't see. When the air temperature is just 77 degrees Fahrenheit, asphalt can reach 125 degrees or higher. At 86 degrees air temperature, pavement can hit 143 degrees. Hot enough to cause burns in under a minute of contact. Your dog has no shoes. Their paw pads are in direct contact with that surface for the entire walk. Dogs don't sweat through their skin the way humans do. They regulate heat almost entirely through panting and through the pads of their paws. When those pads are being cooked from below and the air above is hot and humid, their cooling system collapses. Heat stroke in dogs can develop in minutes. It can cause irreversible brain damage. It kills. And because dogs are wired to push through discomfort to stay with you, they won't tell you they're in trouble until it's already serious. If you walk your dog between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. in warm weather without checking the pavement first with the back of your hand, you're taking a risk most owners don't realize they're taking. 3. The air freshener in your living room. Your home smells clean. You keep a plug-in freshener in the hallway, maybe a candle on the coffee table, a spray you use in the bathroom. To you, these are harmless comforts. To your dog, they may be something else entirely. Dogs have up to 300 million olfactory receptors in their nose. Humans have around 6 million. This means the light scent you barely notice is, to your dog, an overwhelming and constant chemical presence. But it's not just intensity. Many common air fresheners, plug-ins, sprays, candles, contain volatile organic compounds including formaldehyde, benzene, and phthalates. These chemicals have been linked in veterinary studies to respiratory irritation, hormonal disruption, and in some cases, long-term organ damage in dogs with chronic exposure. Your dog lives low to the ground, where these compounds concentrate. They breathe this air all day, every day for years. A dog who seems fine may be experiencing slow, cumulative damage that won't show up until it's significant. This isn't about one candle on a birthday. It's about the freshener that runs 24 hours a day in a closed home with a dog who has no choice but to breathe it. And if you want to keep getting information like this that could genuinely change your dog's life, hit subscribe. What's coming next is one most people never see coming. 4. The way you give them affection. This one is the hardest to hear because it comes from a place of love. When your dog is scared during a thunderstorm, at the vet when they're trembling in the corner, your instinct is to hold them, stroke them, speak softly to them. It feels like the right thing to do. It feels like parenting. But there's a problem. Dogs don't process comfort the same way humans do. When you pet a frightened dog and say, it's okay, in a soothing voice, you are, from your dog's perspective, responding to their fear signal. And in dog communication, responding to a signal reinforces it. You're not calming them. You're confirming that their fear is warranted. Over time, this pattern can actually deepen anxiety. Dogs who are consistently soothed during fear responses can develop more severe phobias, not less. Veterinary behaviorists call this inadvertent reinforcement. It's one of the most common ways loving owners accidentally make fear-based anxiety worse. The right move is counterintuitive. Stay calm, act unbothered, and redirect rather than console. Your dog watches you for information about whether the world is safe. When you panic pet them, you're telling them it isn't. 5. The grapes on your counter. You know chocolate is bad for dogs. Most owners know that one. But there are foods sitting in nearly every kitchen right now that are just as dangerous and far less known. Grapes and raisins, for reasons researchers still can't fully explain, cause acute kidney failure in dogs. Not in large amounts, sometimes in very small amounts. The dose-response relationship is unpredictable, meaning a handful that seems fine for one dog can kill another. There is no established, safe amount. Xylitol, the artificial sweetener found in sugar-free gum, some peanut butters, and many baked goods, causes a rapid and life-threatening drop in blood sugar in dogs. It can trigger liver failure within 72 hours. Onions and garlic, including powdered forms used in cooking, destroy red blood cells in dogs over time, leading to hemolytic anemia that builds silently across weeks of small exposures. None of these foods look dangerous. None of them cause an immediate, obvious reaction in most cases. They work slowly, or they work unpredictably, and by the time symptoms appear, the damage is already done. The thing most likely to poison your dog isn't something exotic. It's something you bought at the grocery store this week. 6. The silence you assume means they're fine. Dogs are extraordinarily good at hiding pain. This isn't a personality trait, it's survival biology. In the wild, showing weakness attracts predators. So dogs evolve to mask discomfort until it becomes impossible to mask. What this means for you is devastating in its simplicity. By the time your dog is visibly limping, clearly lethargic, or obviously unwell, the problem has almost always been present for far longer than you realized. The subtle signs come first. A slight change in how they hold their head, a small decrease in appetite, a reluctance to jump that you chalk up to them being lazy, a shift in where they like to sleep. These are communication. Your dog is telling you something is wrong in the only language available to them before the language becomes unmistakable. Most owners miss this window entirely. They see a dog who's just getting older or having an off day until the off days become every day. Annual vet visits are not enough for this reason. Monthly check-ins at home, running your hands along their spine, checking their gums, watching their gait, are how you catch what your dog cannot tell you in words. The silence you read as fine is sometimes the loudest thing they're saying.